For the best liberty-oriented talk 24/7, visit LRN.FM.
All right, I'm standing here with Brad Jardis from New Hampshire, who, of course, you're best known for taking on the ban on firearms at New Hampshire universities. And you had something new that's been going on this week that you wanted to tell me about. Tell me what's up.
Well, a little background. I presently am representing Jason Talley of Talley TV in front of the Cheshire County Superior Court. He's been charged with three things. One is contempt of court, the other is disorderly conduct, and the other is resisting arrest. And the basis for these charges all stem from court orders that were enacted after Adam Mueller of copblock.org, or he's more generally known as Ademo Freeman. He attempted to interview a judge in Keene, New Hampshire about his decision to put someone in jail for contempt for 5 days for wearing a hat in the courtroom. And this happened on June 28th of last year, and he asked him questions. He was very polite.
It's kind of ridiculous to waste taxpayer money on something like that, isn't it? Sir?
He asked him about the use of taxpayer money. He asked him about enforcement of public policy. And Judge Burke, on camera, told a lie to his bailiffs. He said,
Bailiff, this person is threatening me about a decision that I just made.
I'm not threatening you. I'm asking him questions. Did I threaten you?
He's threatening as a criminal offense.
What was my threat?
Come on, sir, you're in custody.
but if you watch the video, anybody who sees it can see that Ademo did not threaten him at all. He was asking him questions that the judge didn't want to answer. So as a result of this, I think it was 3 or 4 days later, the district court chief judge, Edwin Kelly, he issues a rule saying you can't have cameras, you can't use cameras in non-public areas of courtrooms. And then that same day, the chief judge of the Superior Court, Tina Nato, she issued an order saying you can't do that in the Superior Court either. A little bit later the next month, in July, the presiding judge in Cheshire County, John Arnold, he issued an order saying you can't possess a recording device at all. And if you read the New Hampshire Constitution, specifically Part 1, Article 22, it says that the freedom of the press shall be inviolably preserved. And these orders strip the right of people to hold government officials accountable in public areas of public buildings. And these orders were all issued in direct response to Judge Burke being caught on camera committing a crime. And that crime is what's called false reports to law enforcement. If you, I believe it's RSA 641-4. If you make a report to law enforcement that someone has committed a crime, like if I was to say, Dave, if I was to call 911 right now and say, Dave Ridley threatened me, that's a criminal offense, and then the police arrested you, I would have committed a crime. So this judge commits a crime, and then these judges that are in a supervisory role use their authority, which was granted by the Supreme Court. They enact this ban on recording devices. So Jason Talley, he's a member of the Free Press. He's a journalist, and he likes to cover things having to do with the state. He went to the courthouse and was arrested for possession of a camera, and all of this stuff stems from the fact that Judge Burke lied to bailiffs who are considered law enforcement officers because they have the power to arrest. Judge Burke lied and got Ademo put in jail for 2 days for something that he didn't do before the Cheshire County attorney let him out. So Jason Talley, I think he's a good guy. He's a friend of mine, and he asked me for help because attorneys are very expensive, so I decided to help him with this case. And New Hampshire is kind of unique because you can represent somebody in court as long as you're a person of good character. And the judge allowed me to file an appearance, and thus far I'm representing him. But I think it's very important for the public to know, especially right now, because there is a bill in the legislature to propose a constitutional amendment to remove the last line of Article 73A, which says that the Supreme Court has the power to make rules that have the force and effect of law. And if the Supreme Court is using its power to make rules that have the force and effect of law to cover for a judge who committed a crime on camera, I think that's something the public should know about because I would say it's certainly an abuse of the public trust. If you read...
One question, though, is how can you prove that the courts made those additional rules as a result of Judge Burke's incident with Adam?
It's very easy to prove, and I don't think the Supreme Court did anything wrong at all. I think that Well, if you read the order, this is what I was just about to say. If you read the order that was issued 3 or 4 days after ademo was wrongfully put in jail for 2 days, the administrative judge of the it's now called the Circuit Court District Division, Edwin Kelly, he was so bold as to write that members of the public have accosted the presiding justice. These people think that independent members of the free press asking questions about public policy and about tax policy is equivalent to accosting somebody. You know, these are public servants who ostensibly answer to us, and if you go up to them with a camera, they're going, you know, they lie and say you threatened them when you didn't. You get put in jail for 2 days, and then their bosses enact a rule stripping the rights of all members of the independent media to hold government officials accountable, and they call questions about government policy accosting. I think it costs about $78.
Well, whether it's accosting or not, they were admitting that it was a reason that
exactly.
That's the important part.
Exactly.
I guess. Where do people find that admission on the internet?
Well, you can read according to, because right now I'm bound by the New Hampshire Rules of Professional Conduct, but the Professional Rules of Conduct, Rule 3.62C, says that you can state things that are contained in a public record. And everything I've just told you is contained in the motions that I filed. And this is also, I mean, this is, like I said, I think this is an abuse of the public trust, because the people trust these people to have enormous authority, and they're using it to cover up for a crime. I mean, I was a police officer for 11 years, and I've done well over 100 arrest warrants, and I've done lots of search warrants. And I'm telling you right now, what I saw on that camera was a crime committed by Judge Burke. And he's still sitting on the bench. Nothing has happened to him. And now Jason Talley, who is my client, so to speak, he's standing charges on these orders that they enacted after Judge Burke told a lie and got ademo arrested.
Yeah, well, and I guess, you know, with Watergate, you know, it wasn't the original crime that was the big problem, but the cover-up.
Yeah,
so...
yeah. And interestingly, I filed a motion, I believe I called it a motion to refrain from using physical force to demand respect. And essentially, I asked the court, please don't authorize the bailiffs to use violence against people who don't want to stand for you, because a lot of people find that to be shocking to their conscience. And Part 1, Article 4 of the New Hampshire Constitution says you have a right to conscience. And why should people have to stand for public officials if they don't believe in it? The Cheshire Superior Court has ordered bailiffs to literally, bailiffs and deputies to literally grab people by the arms and stand them up if they don't want to stand for the judge in America.
Take a seat right now.
Do that.
Take a seat right now.
As soon as I point the camera, I'm pointing the camera.
Take a seat right now. I'll leave.
You know, this stuff is happening in America. If you don't stand up for someone who's supposed to work for you, you're going to have people be violent to you and pick you up. And it's just ridiculous.
So now that's the new part, is what
right.
is this new motion.
Yep.
Nothing else much has changed in the last week or
so.
so?
The county attorney office filed a response to it objecting to my motion to not use violence. So, you know, to anyone who's following this, you can put these things together. I mean, essentially they're saying we reserve the right to use violence against you to make you respect us.
I can't do that. It's a public place.
Get out of the courtroom.
You have no authority to order me around, sir.
Get out of the courtroom.
I'm going to continue filming this
Get out of the courtroom right now.
Get your hands off.
And, you know, they claim it's for the dignity of the judicial proceedings, but I'm not too sure that anyone can explain how something is dignified if they can use violence to make you respect it. So I've posted all these motions and the responses at freekeen.com, and I think people should go on there and read it, because it's the response filed by the Assistant County Attorney John Webb, who, by the way, is a very nice guy when you talk to him. But, you know, his response certainly goes to show the mentality that people have that work in the government, that, you know, they think that they should be able to use violence against you or any of your viewers if you don't want to stand for them, and that's just ridiculous.
What's going to happen next that you would like folks to get involved in?
Well, I would like people to talk about this, and people to sort of look at the timeline of the way things have happened.
Here at this court.
You think it's the right thing to do to
Good
drag
morning.
a man who doesn't stand for a robed man across the floor in handcuffs?
There's a lot of activism in Keene that a lot of people disagree with. I mean, my friends in Keene do things that I don't necessarily like, but it seems to me that people in the judicial branch think they can marginalize what happened to ademo because of the fact that he may not be immensely popular in the mainstream because of his type of activism. Well, whether they like it or not, Ademo does live in New Hampshire, and he's protected by the Constitution, and his constitutional rights were violated when Judge Burke told a lie and had him put in jail. So I want people to know that this is going on. I mean, this is a crime, and so far nothing has happened to this judge. And if this was you or I, we'd be in jail by now. I mean, we would have been prosecuted by now. And the fact that he gets to continue to sit on the bench.
Is it Ian Bernard? Ian Bernard?
I'm
Have a seat. Have a seat.
And make, I think, 143 grand a year as a judge after he violates their canons, their specific judicial canons, is just ridiculous. So, I mean, people can go to Tally TV or Google Tally TV, because I know Jason is talking a lot about his case, but this is more than just the three charges that Jason has. This is about the members of the judiciary showing how they respond when one of their own sort of steps in it, if you will, and does something illegal, which causes someone, an innocent person, to sit in jail.
LRN.FM, 24 hours of Liberty Radio every day. Now available on satellite too, at sat.lrn.fm. That's what a satellite sounds like. Put it on your unlicensed station. Wear it in your hair. But above all, don't despair. The Liberty message is getting out. And right now, you're missing it. Or maybe you're not. But skip on over to LRN.FM. Feds don't want you to hear them.